Man, Hulu's cooking. So far, they 2 for 2 for these new shows. I just got done watching Paradise season 1. I've been hearing a lot of buzz and talk and discussions surrounding this show, and I finally got to binge all the episodes, and I have a lot of thoughts. First and foremost, this is starring Sterling K. Brown, James Marsden, uh, Julianne Nicholson. Those are our main three characters. So the plot is you have Sterling K. Brown's character Xavier. He works for the Secret Service. James Marsden's character, he plays Cal. He is the president. Julianne plays Sinatra, also known as her real name goes by Samantha. She's kind of the mastermind behind this underground city bunker thing, whatever you want to call it. So essentially, what happens, and I went into this blind, and I feel like that was like kind of the best way because I didn't know what to expect. It starts off like a normal day for everybody, just doing their normal clearances, but Xavier ends up finding the president dead. But before he um makes this announcement, he just wants to kind of gather any clues because he knows shit's gonna get shut down and he's not gonna be able to do anything. So, he has to get on board with everybody else. Billy being another Secret Service member, one of my favorite characters in here, and also Jane. Jane and Billy work for the Secret Service as well. They kind of have a thing for each other. I'm going to talk about that shortly. But the first episode is pretty much like a murder mystery until you realize that this whole time they are underground because of a catastrophic event that happened on Earth. And there's thousands of people that live in this underground city. They were handpicked by another character, Dr. Gabrielle. I forget her last name, but she pretty much like picked everybody to be a part of this city. Also, kind of acts as a new love interest for Xavier because you learn that Xavier had to leave his wife behind, and this whole time he's thinking that she is dead and gone, which causes a rift between Xavier and Cal. And I really like how they kind of slow burned that whole process or just that whole story. Um, and you kind of understand where Cal's coming from, and you understand where Xavier is coming from once you get to episode 7. And episode 7 is an episode I see so many people talking about, and man, it's incredible. But I'm jumping ahead. Let me back it up a little bit. Like I said, for the first like 4 episodes, it's like, it's like a who done it. Also, there's kind of that natural disaster kind of element to it, thriller. A lot of people were suspecting Billy, but getting Billy's backstory where he comes from like a really hard background. His uncle was abusive. Then he ends up working for Secret Service, but Billy has an interesting job. This is where things get interesting because um, Sam tries to keep everything hush hush, doesn't want people to know that the surface is livable and people are communicating with each other. That to her will cause mass panic. But what you learn about Samantha's character is she is very selfish, and maybe things will change in the future because of certain events, because, you know, they end up taking out Billy, and the person that ends up taking out Billy is Jane, the girl that he actually likes. And man, that was fucked up because Jane is a legit psychopath. She don't care about nothing but playing the Wii. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I really liked the first 4 episodes setting that up, and we get like character deaths pretty frequently in this series, and you can't really trust anybody. And now it ends up turning into like Xavier wanting to get the people that are against how they handled Billy's whole situation and take back the underground city and kind of create this kind of coup and take the power away from Samantha. Then tell people the truth about what's going on here, because there's just a lot of lies and a lot of deception. So that's like the first 6 episodes. And I like a lot of the human stories that we get. We get a lot of Cal's backstory. Like, he originally didn't even want to do politics. His father pretty much forced him into this life. He wanted to be a high school teacher, and his father wanted him to aspire to be something more. So he didn't really get a choice in the matter. And you do see that he genuinely does care about people. Now, there's other characters like Robinson. She's like a special agent, ends up kind of falling for Cal, and her and Xavier at first kind of butt heads, but they start to kind of meet in the middle and have a common goal. So they're on the same team by the end of the season. Now let's talk about episode 7, because this is where they show where shit hits the fan and how many people were misinformed or just not informed at all about the situation, and how Cal pretty much told the truth. Like, look, man, this is what's happening, and this caused hella chaos. So pretty much there was this volcano that erupted from Antarctica, I think it was. And so you have this huge ass tsunami that is going to wash all over the fucking world. It's a 300-foot tsunami that's going at like 600 miles per hour, which is crazy. It causes worldwide panic. You have Russia and China launching their nukes, people putting up their nukes and everything. It's just absolute chaos. But what's interesting is the decision that Cal has at this point, where he breaks down to Samantha, I have this red code and I have this blue code. It's pretty much the red pill and the blue pill. The blue pill is like an EMP, knocks everything out, and it gives people a chance to live. And then you got the red card, or the red pill, where that launches all the nukes and just nothing survives, you know? And what's interesting, this is where you really see where Samantha is just not all the way there. Granted, she lost her kid, so she hasn't really gotten over that. And she feels like she's doing the best to protect what she has left of her family. And she doesn't really care. She ends up kind of turning into a monster, a villainous person. But there are much worse people. Like I said, Jane, people still don't know what Jane ended up doing, and her being the cause of Billy's death still needs to be solved, and we'll probably get more answers or certain things with that in season 2. But yeah, so episode 7 pretty much shows you what exactly happened. Complete chaos breaks out. You know, Xavier's not able to get his wife on a plane, so him and Cal just have this crazy back and forth, which, you know, a lot of people probably already seen the scene. That was fucking great. Like, James Marsden and Sterling K. Brown were just acting their ass off from episode 1 to the finale, man. Like, they were just going crazy. But yeah, with episode 6, you have them staging this coup, trying to take this takeover. But what kind of stops Xavier for a moment is he notices that his daughter is not safe. And so Samantha kind of use this as leverage for him to kind of back off from doing this whole takeover and finding out who actually killed the president. And lo and behold, it's not somebody that was registered there. And this is where we get the reveal that it was the librarian the whole time. Also, the guy that helped create this city, Trent, and why he did what he did, because he felt like the people deserved to know the truth. And we see him earlier in the season where he tries to take a shot at the president and fails. So he ends up trying to sneak his way into the underground city to do the dirt. And I really liked his little scene because it was all about the workers for him, the people that were working down there, and how that site was like, it had some type of like not bio, but nuclear stuff there that just made people sick. But they didn't care because they needed this thing to be built. And if they would have just prepared people years ahead of time, they probably would have avoided all of this. So now we get to the finale where Xavier has just been putting all these different clues together that was left behind by Cal. And so he can go look for his wife, because Samantha told him that she is still alive out there. There are people communicating with one another. So that's going to be his mission. Jane ends up shooting Samantha in the neck, in the throat or whatnot. Not killing her, but she wants to kind of still keep her around. Not too sure, like I said, what they want to do with Jane's character moving forward, but it's interesting. And it makes me think, like, is she working alone? Is there more people like her down here? I'm just gonna have to wait and see. Xavier, like I said, the final scene you see him with is just going to go look for his wife. Cal also has a son here, goes by the name Jeremy. He also has that kind of a love interest with Xavier's daughter, Presley. But I think his role is going to just tell people the truth, because he has one of the tablets with all this information. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to learn about the truth, and I think there's still going to be that divide. And it's going to be interesting to see who's going to really like take control of the ship here, because with Samantha out, there's another guy in place. I forget his fucking name off the top of my head. It's gonna get crazy, and I'm really curious to see where they take season 2. I wonder if they're going to address the construction worker / librarian that like deleted himself. And you know what I'm saying, I'm curious to see how people are going to react to that. This is a fantastic show. Like, the acting, the premise alone is really dope. I like the characters. Like I said, I feel like the strongest standouts are James Marsden and Sterling K. Brown. Incredible. I want to know your thoughts, though. How did y'all feel about this first season? I thought it was pretty dope, very suspenseful, sad at times, really cool backstories, and just really well written overall. But let me know how you guys feel about it. Till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.